Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to win in a multiple offer bidding situation. You know that in today's market, there's a lot of buyers and very few sellers. And what's happening is many offers come in. Most sellers will receive up to 10 offers on their property within the first weekend. And you need to know how to win. And I've got a few tactics that will help you. Let's get right into it. The first thing that I recommend is to make sure that you're fully pre-approved. Pre-approved is very different than pre-qualified. When you're pre-approved, that means an underwriter has already taken a look at your file. An underwriter at the mortgage company has already taken a look at your mortgage file and said, I agree that they have sufficient income, I agree that they have sufficient assets, and I agree that they have the good credit. And they're willing to write a check to you right now if you give them the right property, subject only to the appraisal. So point number one, you've got to get fully pre-approved, because what's going to happen is you're going to get out there, you're going to be competing with other people, and those people are going to be fully pre-approved. They're going to show assets. They're going to an ability to perform right away, and you're going to have to say, well, I'm not ready. Here's the other thing that happens when you're fully pre-approved. The seller's agent will probably talk to the seller about the 10 offers they received, and they'll say, these 3 offers are the best offers we have. Let me talk to the loan officers. And then what they do is they call the loan officer for those 3 buyers, and the loan officer has to answer the phone confidently. They have to be able to say, yes, we are fully pre-approved, we've gone through the underwriter, and we're done, we're ready to close. And no matter how good your loan officer is, it's going to be hard for him to fake it when they ask you, when the seller's agent asks, are they fully pre-approved? Because a loan officer is going to hesitate and they're going to be quiet, not because they want to, but because it's just natural. It's difficult to not tell the truth. And so they're going to say, well, we've got almost everything we need. And you don't want that, not when you're competing with somebody else. The second thing I recommend is to make sure that you have a clean contract. You have to have the cleanest contract possible and not having any wild contingencies or addendums on your contract. For example, the first thing that comes to mind is these people have a home to sell. So when the seller's agent is reviewing offers and they have 10 offers sitting on the table and 2 of them have homes to sell, they're automatically eliminated. What that means is you cannot purchase the new home without selling your home. Now, it's possible in a slower market to say, listen, I'll buy your home. If you accept my offer, I'll immediately put my home for sale and I'll sell it, and then I'll come buy your house. That's not going to happen in today's market. Today's market is very competitive, and the seller wants to know that you're ready to act. And one of the contingencies that often go into a contract that make it not a clean contract is that you are subject to the sale of a home. Okay? You cannot perform on their property until you sell your home. That makes it very difficult for buyers to win in today's competitive market. So I recommend that if you are ready to buy, you've got to sell your home. Now listen, there's a couple of ways to do this. If you want more information on how to sell your home and be ready to act without having to move out of your house, you need to call me, you need to text me, you need to make a comment in this video, because I can help you sell your home, stay in your home until you find the next property. Okay, number 3, make sure that you're ready to close on their terms. And this is what I was saying, that if you have a home to sell, we can create terms that your buyer will have to accept if they want that property, which means that if you're going to write an offer on another property, you have to be willing to close on the terms of the seller. In other words, the seller may also ask for 60 days after closing before they move out, or they may ask for 90 days after closing before they move out. You've got to be willing to close on their terms. This is something that when everybody's jumping into the pond and trying to win, you've got to be willing to give the seller what they want, because that's how you win in this competitive market. The next thing, and this is item number 4, the next thing is make sure that you talk to the seller's agent. Now, if I'm your agent, I will certainly be talking to the seller's agent to find out what is best for the seller. However, oftentimes buyer's agents don't call. What they do is they just send their offer over, or they'll text. You need to talk to the seller's agent. You need to make yourself a real person. You need to make the buyers, as a buyer's agent, I do my best to make the buyers real people so they don't dismiss you out of hand. This is just a tactic to help you win in a competitive market environment. If you need a good buyer's agent, and I'm pointing at myself, then call me, text me, email me, like my video, whatever you want to do so that I can help you make sure you win in this competitive market environment. But one of the most important things to do is to make yourself a real person and not just a stack of papers, right? And the way to make yourself a real person is to have your agent talk to the listing agent or the seller's agent and make sure that you and your agent understand what the seller wants and needs. If the home is vacant, you've got to close faster, right? Because the seller wants his money. If the seller needs a place to buy, then you have to close slower. Or you can close and let them stay in. So you're not going to know any of that until you talk to the seller's agent. Another thing that's happening in today's market, and this is item number 5, another thing that's happening in today's market is that appraisals may not reach. Since the market is moving so fast, people are paying above appraised value. The way a bank determines how much they're willing to pay for a property is they send out an appraiser. The appraiser takes a look at all of the comparable properties, same size, same style, same square footage, same lot size. It takes a look at all of the comparable properties and says, this home is like all of these other homes, and therefore this is the value. Well, what happens often, and nowadays, with all these people committing, with all of these buyers submitting multiple offers, we're pushing the properties above appraised value. And so one of the ways that some proactive, aggressive buyers are willing to go to do is to pay above appraised value. Let's say, for example, the property is for sale at $450,000. You offer $500,000. We expect that the appraisal will come in somewhere between $450,000 and $500,000 because $500,000 is really aggressive. It's high. Well, then what happens is, let's say, for example, the appraisal comes in $460,000. In your contract, in your initial offer, you should have said, I am willing to pay up to $5,000, $10,000. I've seen up to $25,000. I don't recommend it. However, be willing to pay some money above appraised value if the appraisal does not arrive at your purchase price or at your offer price. So if your offer price was $500,000, the appraisal came in at $460,000, and you said, I'm willing to pay $10,000 above appraised value if the appraisal comes in below the offer price. So now instead of $460,000, the seller gets $470,000. That makes your offer much more attractive. Another thing that's happening today, and I don't recommend it, I really believe this is not a good idea, but this is something that's happening. People are waiving their contingencies. What that means is they're saying, you know what, we'll take the property and we will not do an inspection. That's probably not the best idea, right? We want to know that we're getting a good property. We want to make sure that there's no foundation problems. We want to make sure that we're not going to have to replace all of the furnace and the central air and the roof as we walk in the door. We want to make sure there's no existing or lingering plumbing problems or electrical problems. So we're going to send an inspector. However, some people who feel very handy, and I've had a couple of buyers that felt this way, they said, the house looks good. It looks like the people took care of it. I'm willing to waive my inspection contingency. That's something that you can do, okay? The other thing is, and this has happened, I've heard this two ways, okay? So I'm not recommending this, but some people are writing letters and they're sending pictures of their family. That's great. It makes you a real person. It tries to bring in an emotional aspect of it. However, I've seen real estate agents say, don't send it to me, because if we reject your offer, we don't want to be exposed to a discrimination complaint. So I've heard it both ways. I don't know what the best option is for there. It's something that we can take into consideration as we prepare offers in this very competitive multiple offer environment. So anyway, I was hoping that would help. I think these are some good tactics, some good ideas. Offering above appraised value, making sure you're completely fully pre-approved, making sure you have a clean contract, closing on the seller's terms. I'm sorry, I'm reading because I didn't want to miss anything. Closing on the seller's terms and making sure you communicate with the listing agent. These are things that will help you win in this multiple offer competitive situation. I hope this helps. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks.